What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I am your host, Eric, and today we are going to talk about the EWMC conference, day two. We have a little bit of a wrap up for day two and what type of stuff did we get into in the EWMC conference on day two. Now, for those of you who are unaware of the EWMC, we are the Electrical Workers Minority Coalition or Caucus for the IBEW. The Electrical Workers Minority Caucus is a organization that was built to promote equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. That's the overall arch of what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that everybody has a voice, that everybody is represented, whether you are Black, Indigenous, female, Spanish, Latino, Asian Pacific, queer, LGBTQIA plus community. Everybody deserves to be represented, and that's what the EWMC is all about. For those of you that are not aware of what we are an organization that exists inside of the IBEW, and not every local union has a chapter, but every local union should have a chapter. And if your local union does not have a chapter, you, yes, you should take it upon yourself to see about getting a chapter started in your local. And there are a lot of resources out there that can help you do just that. So what happened on Friday? Friday was day two of the conference, and it began with breakfast, obvious, and a plenary session. We had International President Kenny Cooper came and spoke to the delegation about the importance of the work that the EWMC does. He told the coalition, the caucus, that the EWMC is the IBEW. It is the heartbeat of the IBEW. He gave an impassioned speech about how important it is for us to be involved in our communities and in political activism to make sure that we are electing pro-labor candidates that will push forward the agenda of labor and help working people. And that responsibility falls on all of us, the rank and file trade union movement. We also had a wonderful speaker. Stacey Abrams came and spoke to the coalition, and Stacey Abrams gave a fiery, impassioned speech, and it was so moving. And as much as we like to get cynical, and I am somebody who gets cynical after a lot of effort, I've been active for a lot of years trying to affect change, and sometimes you don't get the results that you want, and you get discouraged and you get tired and you feel weary and you want to just give up. And her speech really just had the impact of lighting yet another fire and re-stoking those flames and re-emblazing that passion to want to affect change in a positive way for everybody. And now some of us look at that and in our own minds be like, well, if you gain, I lose. It's not how this works. This is not a zero-sum game. There's enough for all of us. The problem is it's all concentrated at the very, very tippy top, and we need to knock that structure apart and have that wealth distributed more equitably amongst the working people. After Stacey Abrams spoke, there was a panel of people to discuss the power of our vote. One of the stories that I took inspiration from was by Shawnee Davis. Shawnee Davis is an IBEW member out of Local 43. Started a business called Luminary Electric in Syracuse. Didn't see the type of company that she wanted to see, and so she started her own. And how powerful is that? To know that here you have a Black woman in Syracuse looking for a company that looks like her, not seeing it, going out there to get her master's license and starting her own company to create that space for others just like her. Truly inspirational. We then had our luncheon and we went out into Atlanta for some tours. And the tours that we did, we went to the King Center and National Center for Civil and Human Rights. And I gotta say, if you've never been to the Martin Luther King Jr. National Park and Museum, you should. It's very, very inspirational. Um, we went to the old Ebenezer Church and sat down and listened to the national park staff talk about the history of it. And then we went to the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, and I got to tell you, that museum had an impact on me. It was very upsetting, honestly, because you're walking through a museum that's showing you the images and the recordings and the experience of the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s to get voting rights and to get change. And there was an exhibit of the 4 little girls who were killed in a church bombing. And that exhibit brought me to tears. And I had to actually step out of the museum because it was far too upsetting for me. Um, my empathy runs deep, and I just can't understand the evil in somebody that would firebomb a church and murder 4 children, whether they intended to kill children or not, which they probably did when they threw that firebomb into that church. And that one really stuck with me. I had to get out of there. I couldn't continue. And then, so that finished up. And in the evening, there was a delegates reception at the Georgia Aquarium. And when I tell you that that was a good time, it was extremely fun. A lot of great conversations had there. And you're in the aquarium after it's closed, so it's kind of neat because you got to be in that space and look at the big fish tank with the whale shark swimming by, and just a lot of good time spent in brotherhood and in sisterhood, and just being around each other and having conversations in a casual way, sharing ideas, sharing experiences, learning from each other. Very, very impactful stuff. And that was the last event of the day. And then went back to the hotel to get some rest. And that was day 2. Highly impactful. Um, learned a lot, experienced a lot, felt a lot, and had that passion reignited again. And so once again, I got to reiterate, the EWMC is the IBEW, and it's for every dues paying member of the IBEW, regardless of race, color, creed, sexual orientation, or identification. It is for you. If you have a yellow ticket, it is for you. You belong in the EWMC of the IBEW. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember that the fight is not left and right. It is up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember that there can be no union without you and I, front and center. Let's get it.